Hello everybody, my name is Milana. I was born and raised in the city, but every summer my parents and I went to see my grandma in the village. There was no internet there, but I always knew that fresh fruit, a lot of fun creatures, and amazing scenery was waiting for me there. My grandma had lived alone for many years, but she had a huge household, fuzzy chickens, fluffy rabbits, and even a goat with its cute babies, and my beloved cow, which gave very delicious milk. We have no internet in the village, and in general, even the mobile network is very sluggish. To send a text, you have to hold your phone as high in the air as possible, and to talk on the phone, you'd have to climb a tree. There is one very popular tree in the village, and a whole line of people forms there in the evenings. It is believed that it is the best for catching the signal. Sometimes there would even be small fights among people on the lines. Yes, after living in the city with proper internet, it is very unusual here at first, but then you get used to it and just enjoy the clean air, catching butterflies, swimming, and playing with stray cats and dogs. You can even pick a strawberry at any time, or even a zucchini if you want. I loved to experiment and eat different fruit mixtures. Sometimes I had to pay for that with my sick stomach. I thought that this blissful life would go on forever, but as it usually happens, you expect one thing and something else happens. Over the years, the yard and the house became more and more desolate. Back then, I did not know that the reason for that was very simple: old age. My grandma simply did not have enough strength to maintain everything. My parents wanted to help, but they had to work. Everything changed in an instant. On that day, for the first time in 3 years, my grandma came to our apartment in the city, barely agreeing to leave her animals unattended until the evening. Everyone sat down at the dinner table. There was no bread at home, so I went to the store. I was joyfully going back, thinking about how many questions I still needed to ask my grandma, and I heard an explosion. I was stunned and lots of glass pieces landed on me. I frantically began to look for the site of the explosion. Third apartment block, 4th floor. Oh no, this was our apartment. Thick black smoke poured out from the blue curtains in the kitchen windows. I lost everything in a split moment. The neighbors sheltered me for a while, as our apartment was completely burnt out. For a day, I was in a state of shock. It seemed to me that I had lost the meaning of life. Then I somehow found the strength to go outside for a walk to unwind. Going out into the street, I saw a dog playing with a child. My grandma's village house. Who will look after it? I went there without any hesitation. Approaching the house, I already heard the noises of the animals begging for food. How glad they were when they saw me. They jumped, wagged their tails, they were just joyful. I quickly fed them and gave water to everyone. Finally, there was silence. I felt incredible relief. I am needed here and I must stay. I learned that my grandma had left me the house as an inheritance a long time ago. I needed money to renovate the apartment after the fire, but all my relatives whom I asked for help had their own problems, and some had it even worse than me. So my village life began. Without the internet, the main sources of information for me were the newspapers, for which my grandma had a subscription for, and I had a very talkative neighbor whose children worked as a journalist and a policeman. The stories she told me were more exciting than Game of Thrones. Someone even came to interview me, but I had nothing to say and they quickly left. Then the investigator came. There was nothing criminal, just a gas explosion. I could try and sue the gas company, but it was a long and complex process. And besides, I had already cooled down about it in the village. I ate well, but I had some money problems. I even took what I grew in my garden into the city to sell on farmer market, but it was barely enough for the necessities, and there was no question of renovating the apartment. It was enough to live, and that was okay. One time, my neighbor said that I should rent one of the rooms in the house to some city guy who wanted to experience the life in the countryside. She told me that he decided to downshift. For a small sum, I rented the room out on one condition, that he would be responsible for cleaning it. He arrived. He looked nice, sleek, but also kind of sad. His name was Edward. Ugh, okay, I thought, because I did not think that he would last even a week here, even though he wanted to stay for a couple of months. Getting up in the morning, he decided to get closer to nature and walk barefoot around the yard. But this was a bad idea because the chickens walked freely there. He got himself into chicken poop, poop, of course. Then he decided to clean the shoe with a straw sticking out of the goat's hay. The goat did not like the fact that this human was going to clean his feet with its food, and so Ed grabbed his toe, howled in pain, and began to jump on one leg. But he stumbled into the dog's bowl and fell with a crash, pouring the water all over himself. The chicken scattered. The dog began to break off the chain, wanting to bite him. It was all chaos. I rushed out of the house, screaming, "Why are you scaring the chickens? They will get sick." Then, having understood the situation, I said that it is better to not take off your shoes. There were many more incidents after that. One time, he forgot to close the cages with rabbits and then caught them in the raspberry bushes. Then Ed walked around all scratched but pleased with himself. Or when he tried to milk a cow but hurt her, and she kicked him in the jaw and knocked him out for 5 minutes. Ed gradually got used to the village life. I began to scold him less, and we now could just chat. I learned what downshifting was. Ed had several successful businesses, but they were so exhausting that he did not want anything, and he eventually got depressed. The therapist suggested downshifting. It's when you give up all the benefits of civilization and you live in a simple house. You do simple physical labor. And it really worked. Edward was changing. He looked healthy, had a sparkle in his eyes. He fell in love with all the animals and they reciprocated. I got a lot of help from him. He repaired the separator, put in the new lights, and finally made the chicken coop. And somehow it became easier to live. Life became more fun. We laughed a lot. I told him stories of my neighbor and he told me his. So 2 months passed unnoticed. Ed's partner began to call him. He climbed to the very top of the house and they talked about something for a long time. Sometimes he even screamed from frustration. He looked gloomy and tired again. A few days later, he packed up his things and said that he had to go. I caught my breath. He said something about invasions, default, and other things I could not understand. I was used to living in the countryside, and I got so used to him. It seemed like I was letting him go to another planet. I asked if he would come back. He said that he could not promise anything and left. After his leaving, everything became kind of dull. Even the animals weren't cheerful when I gave them the food. Local stray dogs started to bury their bones in my yard. I only had time to close up the trenches. My cow got very sick and I had to call the vet. The vet said that things were looking very bad. I was so anxious about this and forgot to close the cage with the rabbits at night. The next morning, I found it all ruined. There was blood and clumps of wool everywhere. The dogs had a real hunt and a feast that night. Only a few hiding rabbits were found. But the saddest thing is that all pregnant females were torn to pieces. Another criminal came and said that some criminals were taking over businesses in the city. Edward was missing, most likely killed or fled abroad. After that, my hands dropped completely and I sobbed for 2 hours. I began to think about selling everything, renovating the apartment with the money, and then returning to the city. But where would I live? With these thoughts in mind, I prepared a sell ad and was already going to hang it on the gate. But I was in for a big surprise. Edward entered the courtyard. I threw myself with tears on his neck. He said he faked his own death and decided that they would not find him here in a remote village. He also took some money with him and we could use that to build a small eco-farm and produce organic foods. So finally, I turned my life page and a new chapter began for me. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell.